After your introductory paragraph come the body paragraphs. The purpose of your body paragraphs is to explain your main argument that you set up in your thesis statement and then elaborate, give more information. Each of your body paragraphs will explain one main point in your essay. Each body paragraph will start with a topic sentence that gives the main idea of what the whole paragraph is about. The rest of the sentences in your body paragraph provide support for your main points and give evidence from your sources, such as your readings. How many body paragraphs will be in your essay? It really depends on how much you have to say and how many paragraphs it takes to explain your argument clearly. Before we said the thesis statement was the king or queen of your whole essay. Well, now a topic sentence is going to be your prince or princess. It's going to be the main idea of that whole body paragraph. If you're not familiar with this symbol, this means paragraph. There should be a very clear connection between your topic sentence and your thesis statement. So that means that you're going to repeat some important words or phrases, or you're going to use some synonyms to show the reader how your topic sentence is explaining a piece of your thesis statement. So let's look at how this works. In the thesis statement, we should see the general topic, which we know is immigrant entrepreneurship. And in here, we can see it's inspired by two things: their cross-cultural knowledge and their inclination to take risks for a better future. Let's see how these ideas are echoed in our topic sentences. The main topic, immigrant entrepreneurship, should repeat in each topic sentence. So here I can see the word immigrant, I use that, but I don't use the word entrepreneurship. Instead, I use a synonym, new businesses. How about the second topic sentence? We see immigrants become entrepreneurs. So I went from the abstract noun, entrepreneurship, to the people, entrepreneurs. So both of our topic sentences have a clear connection to that main topic. Now, one of our topic sentences should have a clear connection to cross-cultural knowledge. And yes, here again I use the word cross-cultural, but here it says experiences instead of knowledge. My second topic sentence should somehow repeat this idea that immigrant entrepreneurship is inspired by their inclination to take risks for a better future. So let's see. Here it says they are more willing to take risks for future benefits. So it's the same idea, but just slightly different phrasing. Let's also look for a second at this little piece right here. Apart from cross-cultural experiences. This is a transition phrase that connects the first body paragraph to the second. The first body paragraph was about cross-cultural experiences. So here, when I say apart from, I'm saying in addition to. That would be another transition that I could use here. Apart from or in addition to those cross-cultural experiences in my first body paragraph, we also have this other reason. So I'm creating a bridge or a smooth connection between those two main ideas. In our body paragraphs, it is our job to build our argument. We want to make it as clear and as strong as possible. We do that by giving explanation, and we also do that by giving evidence from our sources. So that's our readings and our videos. So what types of evidence are we using in our essays? One important type is facts and statistics. We also have research that comes from science or social science. Another type is expert ideas, expert opinions. And lastly, we have examples, stories, things that happen to one person or a couple of people. So what are the strongest types of evidence to use in our papers? Definitely facts and statistics. Actually, let's give some more stars here. This is the strongest evidence, and then expert opinion would be the second. Examples and stories are not as strong because these only happen to one person or two people. So it's not clear that that will be the same for all people or for large groups of people. There is a benefit, however, to using examples and stories, and that is that people are just naturally interested in stories. So stories are nice things to add into your paper in combination with facts, with statistics, with research, and with expert opinions. So now let's look at how this essay in paragraph 1 uses evidence and what kind of evidence they use to support their topic. And then we're going to look at transitions and transition phrases that help guide the thinking. So remember that this first body paragraph is about how immigrants' cross-cultural experiences give them creative ideas for new businesses. So here I give a little more explanation of what that means. I'm elaborating. They draw on their knowledge of successful products and businesses from their home countries and apply them to their new home. Okay, and then we come to our first real piece of evidence. That is here. Many had businesses before in their home countries, and they bring that skill to the U.S. What kind of evidence is that? Well, there's no facts or figures here, so we're going to assume that this is expert opinion. Usually, if it's a fact or figure, there's going to be a number involved. Okay, so then it says, moreover, cross-cultural experiences lead immigrants to be innovative. So here, I'm kind of introducing my second evidence, and then the real evidence is right here. This whole part here is a story about Meta Mordaya, right? She is the co-founder of a successful beauty firm. She drew on her knowledge of Indonesian culture, and she was always intrigued by her country's traditional body care. Her and her friends started a business, and now they have a line and found in 100 stores. Okay, so this is going to be a story or anecdotal evidence. So this story is nice because it really illustrates the meaning of cross-cultural experiences lead immigrants to be innovative. When you say that sentence, maybe the reader doesn't really understand what that looks like practically, what it really means. So this story really illustrates that point. Then notice again after the story, kind of repeat my main point again in different words. So sometimes we call this an evidence sandwich. You explain, give your evidence, and explain again. All right, I just want to point out now a little bit about the transition phrases. So you can see that I use a transition phrase right here, moreover, to show that I'm moving to a second piece of evidence. That makes it clear to the reader that I am not just giving more information about what came before. I am giving a second kind of main support for my topic sentence. All right, now let's look at my next piece of evidence. A longitudinal field experiment from Harvard Business School found that students with cross-cultural experiences come up with significantly more creative business ideas than those with no experience outside of their country. Okay, so here we have a research evidence. And I make that research evidence even stronger by mentioning that it comes from Harvard Business School. So Harvard has a strong name that people recognize, so it feels even more convincing. And next I introduce my next piece of evidence with this explanation. On top of that, cross-cultural experience helps business owners to appeal to customers from different backgrounds. And then we have this evidence here, which is given in a quote. So remember, your evidence can be a paraphrase, your evidence can be a quote. Most of your evidence will be a paraphrase, but it's nice to put quotes now and again, every once in a while. And what kind of evidence is this one? By living in different cultures, they encounter new products, services, customer preferences, and communication strategies. And this exposure may allow the transfer of knowledge about customer problems or solutions from one country to another. So that seems like expert testimony or expert opinion. We assume it's an expert because that is coming from a source that was from the class. Notice here that we have another transition on top of that. So that signals, again, that we're starting a new piece of evidence or a new angle to support the topic sentence. And whenever you give a quote, it's a great idea to kind of paraphrase and explain what's important about that quote, right? So it's certainly true that people learn new things when they're aware of life in different environments. Then I have a concluding sentence. You don't always need a concluding sentence, but it's never a bad idea. So a concluding sentence is going to repeat the idea of your topic sentence, but in different words. And notice that I start with this sentence, to sum up. To sum up is a transition word to show summary or conclusion. So you would normally just see that transition at the end of a paragraph or at the end of an essay. Overall, I would say that this paragraph has strong evidence. There are 4 different pieces of evidence and several different types mixed together. And I'll talk more in depth in a future video about citations, but you can see at the end of each piece of evidence that I provide, there is a citation about where it came from, which is very important.